Hello, hello. Oh, my dog's got a whine. Do you hear her whining? My camera doesn't look right. All right, let me get this out of the way. We're gonna make a shirt tonight. I couldn't decide what to do with one of the colors of the shirt that I had bought. And I wanted to do the Dead and Breakfast transfer. And then realized I didn't have the color shirt that I wanted. So we're gonna do both. We're gonna use the transfer I want on the shirt I wanted the other day, but didn't have a transfer picked out for it. So we're just gonna make the best of both worlds, right? So this is the But Did You Die Chocolate transfer that we used the other night. It's put away. It's done its little thing. Here's my shirt that I haven't washed yet, but here's our But Did You Die? I like how it turned out. So I have this like wine colored shirt. I don't even know what color they actually call it. Oh, maroon. It's more like wine. So we're going to use that tonight. And we're going to do the Dead and Breakfast transfer, book ahead on it, because I really wanted to put it on a gray shirt and put it black so it could be not necessarily Halloween. Because I kind of like Halloween type stuff. I could wear it all year long. It's not overly Halloween. But I don't have a gray shirt that I thought I had. The only one I have has the is the raglan with the sleeves, and I don't want to put that on there. I have something else for the one with the black sleeves. Not that transfer. Hello, Miss Kelly. Oh, that reminds me. I should probably send this out into the world, right? Let's mute that real quick. And let me grab this, because I hadn't even got to that part. Now my nose is itching. Coppa. Coppa, coppa. All right, let's see. And look at what I bought. I've actually had it for a while, but I just finally put it together because I cleaned part of my desk. And I'm like, I need to put all my earrings that I made on a little holder so I can take them to a craft show. I need to make some more. But yeah, so I've got some little earrings, and they're all two-sided. So they all have color or something else on the back side. And some of them are like double stacked. I have other ones down there. But so I have those. I need to move that. And it's got like this little inside spot you can hide things in if you want. All right, let's move that and hope I don't drop it. See if it sits there. No, it's not going to sit there. I mean, it'll sit there, but it's going to make noise because it's not even. It's partially on the base for the camera. All right. Share. I'm not supposed to say that word. Send out to Facebook land. Change it to myself. And we will see who pops in. Sometimes these things that pop up, you're like, what? So you know I hate mosquitoes because I'm allergic to them, right? I discovered one flying around trying to bite me last night before I went to sleep. So I knew it was still in the house. And I was sitting in the living room on the couch, and it bit me on the bottom of my foot earlier tonight. Stupid mosquito. So the bottom of my foot swelled up. and that was annoying to walk around on. Eventually it went away. I mean, it doesn't last forever, but it's still annoying. So it went away, and it ended up biting me somewhere else. That's why I discovered it was on my foot, because I saw it buzzing around. Anyway, so I got up and I came back here, and had been back here quite a while, and guess who followed me? He found me! Stupid mosquitoes. Or I guess it's actually a she. Anyway, followed me back here, bit me on the top of my, like, ankle, where the ankle bend where it goes to your foot, bit me there, and I discovered that that one was starting to hurt, because it's always after they leave. Mosquito. Mosquitoes, Kelly. It's a stupid mosquito. And so I discovered he bit me there because I could feel it, but he was on the top of my, like, right above my knee as I was sitting here, and I saw him. I'm like, oh, please let me kill you. I squished him. And I squished him, and he was on my hand, and he left a bloody spot on my leg. But I had this whole pile of blood on my hand. I'm like, oh my God, that's all the blood he's been sucking out of me for the last 2 days. And I'm like, looking at it going, I gotta take a picture of this. I gotta post this. Look how much blood came out of this mosquito. Well, then I went to wash off my hand and use the soap, because it was a lot of blood. And then I discovered that at some point I'd actually cut myself. See that mark right there? I'd actually cut myself, and it was my own blood. I mean, it would have been my own blood out of the mosquito, but I had bled all in this area, and it wasn't actually from the mosquito. I was like, oh, well, okay. So, I thought I had, like, took revenge on this mosquito that had been biting me. No, I didn't really. It was just, I had cut myself. I'm like, so I thought I'd, like, really splatted him. No, I didn't. So my happy revenge on the little mosquito didn't last very long. Let's see, where am I putting this? Let me see if I can find that. In my luck, there's probably another mosquito that's floating around. Okay, so if you're watching, please feel free to send this out into Facebook land if you are not a Chalk Couture designer. We're not supposed to send other designers out into Facebook land. And see, I moved stuff, and now nothing's where it's supposed to be. Like, I gotta put those transfers away. All right. I'm trying to make sure there's not stuff all in your camera view. I know there is. All right, so we're gonna use this wine-colored shirt. The shirt that I'm wearing is also a shirt that I did with Chalk Couture, and I watercolored in the flowers with watered down chalk, or Chalkology ink, Couture ink. Oh my gosh, Kelly, that's horrible. All right, we're gonna get an ink mat that I've already cut down. My dogs are playing, and we're going to move this stuff out of the way. So I got stuff in the way because I was moving stuff and putting stuff and labeling it into my drawers, my cart drawers. This is a very thin shirt. Okay, so this is an ink mat. This is an old one. Normally they're sticky. Hello, Miss Carrie. But I am not using that right now. I have new ones that are definitely sticky. So I'm just going to put this in here and kind of get it into the area that I'm going to use. Except for I wiggled my shirt. Now there is a little darker area where the tag was. Oh, it went away. I think it was just dusty from being, it's not a color that gets chosen a lot, so it might have just been dusty from sitting on the shelf. Alright, so if you're watching, my name is Vicki. I am an independent designer with Chalk Couture. I'm trying to get this wrinkle out of the back of the shirt here. And we are going to use our ink tonight with a transfer to make a Halloween shirt, but it's going to be an all year round t-shirt because that's just how I roll. Like I said, I wanted to use this wine colored shirt the other night, and I couldn't find a transfer I thought would be good on it. And then I also wanted to use this Dead and Breakfast transfer, but then couldn't find a gray shirt that I wanted. So we're gonna mix the two together. And I'm thinking I probably should turn my mat the other way. Let me do that. Because it's not vertical, it's a horizontal design. I don't normally do horizontal designs like that. It's mostly just up and down. So now we got to do this again. Stretch this. And as you're watching, if you have any questions about Chalk Couture or what I'm doing, feel free to ask. You can always message me as well. The business page messenger is a little wonky sometimes, so notifications come in kind of weird. It's not as easy as like regular Facebook messaging me. So if you're friends with me, you can always just personal message me, but if you're not one of my friends, you gotta go through the Facebook page first. All right. I'm just trying to make sure that mat is kind of even, which is why I got the one that wasn't sticky. Doesn't really matter where, well, it does matter where the mat goes underneath, because you want the mat there so the ink does not go from the front through to the back. Sure you did, Kelly. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. All right, I have not used this transfer before, but I absolutely love it. So it is Sleepy Hollow, Dead and Breakfast, Book Ahead. It's got these cute little spider webs and that cute little spider. And that cute little spider can be used on many other things. I've seen people use that part of the transfer elsewhere. Now, normally when we're doing like a hard surface, like any of these, we will fuzz our transfer first so it's not quite so sticky. They are reusable silkscreen mesh transfers. They do have adhesive on the back, but you can wash them and they can be used many times. I'm trying to make sure my shirt's straight. Nothing worse than putting on a transfer and it not being straight. All right, so normally you want to put your transfers a couple of inches down from the neckline. And I'm just hoping I don't end up with a spider on my boob. I think it's much higher than that. That's what we're going for. We're going to move it up a little bit. It is. It's higher. I mean, it could still end up on there. Oops. And then we're just going to press down, and there is a bubble I can feel. Not a bubble, a wrinkle. I'm just going to make sure it's not there. It's not underneath my screen. All right, so that's down. And now I got to pick out the color. I thought I was just going to use plain white. I mean, that's kind of what I was going with. But I could also, instead of using plain white, get those out of the way, I could use Ocean Mist, which is kind of like a light bluish gray. I could use Almond, right? Almond. I do have shimmers, but I don't really feel like this should be a shimmer. And I have a darker gray called Storm, but I'm not doing it. It's almost the color of the shirt. Kind of. And I'm not doing pink or things like that. These are my color choices. So if you're watching, let me know if we should do this in white ocean or almond? Which one do you think will look the best? White, ocean, or almond? And I know it's kind of like not that easy to see, but that's why I'm asking for y'all's opinion. I mean, white's kind of a given. That's why I was kind of thinking of maybe doing it on a different color. Okay, I got one vote for Ocean Mist. Carrie, are you out there? What do you vote on? I need somebody else to vote. Where's Samantha and Tori? Hey, Carrie, you got a badge called Milestone Follower. And Kelly has Superfan +1. Oh, wait, and a fan something. Maybe that's Spanish. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what that is. The heck is that? Oh, yeah, it's the Spanish version. Why do I have Spanish all of a sudden? Okay. Oh, no. Why do I have Spanish? Or at least it's Spanish on Kelly. Kelly, why are you Spanish? That's weird. Kelly's Spanish, but... Oh, and there's Top Fan. That's weird. Oh, and you're an anniversary follower. Look at these badges pop up. That's really weird. Yeah, Samantha. All right. Maybe there's a... Kelly, you have a secondary person on with you. Okay, well, I guess we're going to do Ocean Mist. Carrie may have disappeared, so we're going to do Ocean Mist. Like I said, it's a Halloween shirt, but I plan on wearing it year-round because that's just kind of what I have planned on. And I'm going to take this little towel and put it over here on the side just in case. I don't want to drip on my shirt going across. All right, so these are inks. They will stain. And I want to get a wet wipe so I can wipe my hands off if I get any on my hands, because I don't want to put a fingerprint of ink on my shirt. If I do, then I have to put a star, a flower, in this case another spider, something like that to cover up the little ink blotch. All right. Oh, I found some stuff I still need to put away. So, part of me is like making the spider hot pink in my head. Bright yellow. We're just going to do it one color. That's just kind of what I'm feeling with it. And I could take my handled squeegee and just go across it a couple times, but because we're working on a shirt, I have a feeling this may like be a little bit rougher. For this, it's okay. I just don't want to have it bleed underneath. So we're going to use just our regular squeegee and go across. So most of the time, the ink, you don't need to add water. I did have to add some water to the ones I was using the other day because they were old and I was down at the bottom of my jars of ink. All right, so we're just going to take a big blob and put it right there and go across. In general, you're supposed to go one direction, not the band. One direction on fabrics. That way it helps prevent any bleeding. I don't always do that. And I'm putting more ink on here than needed. I always do, because I like to just let it soak in a minute. It is going on to fabric, so that's just kind of my thing. Now, if I wanted more of a vintage look, I definitely wouldn't do that. And see, I'm right-handed, so I'm going all to the right first, and I'm going to go back and do the stuff on the other side. Just works easier for me. You can do it however works easy for you. And as my friend Kelly here says, if you can butter toast, you can do chalk couture. This is as hard as it gets. Really. You just put some paste or ink on your surface and then spread it across. And see, I can't do that backwards. I got to go this way. And then, when you're ready, you scrape it back off. Like if you put too much, you know, butter or jam or something, too much peanut butter on your bread, so you don't have breadcrumbs in it, other colors, you can put it back in the jar. All right. This can be an easy project tonight. So I'm just going to scrape that off. Yeah, Kelly, you've got Spanish badges. I don't know. Badges? I feel like it needs a little bit more right there. I can kind of see it a little bit more. Same with right there. You don't have to sit here and wait for it. I like to let it sit for a minute. It's just my thing. Probably is no different, but it's my thing. I have a shadow. All right. So now I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit longer because that side needs to have some more time. I probably should have plugged in my Cricut, my Easy Press. Doesn't matter. I still have to blow dry this when we're done so we get it tacky to the touch. You could either blow dry it where it's tacky to the touch and then heat set it, or you can let it dry for like 24 hours and then heat set it. Either way. But where I like doing shirts with the ink is I don't have to worry about washing instructions. I don't have to weed any vinyl. Oh my gosh. This is, like I said, as hard as it gets. So I'm just scraping off the extra ink. It really doesn't take much. I always put too much on. And it goes back in the jar. The jars last a long time unless you're doing a really big project. We have had ladies, and probably guys too, that have used the chalk and some transfers and done walls with it. So that takes quite a few jars of paste when you're doing walls because it's repeated over and over and over again. Now I'm gently going across this right now. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. All right, so now there's ink on there that I don't want to get on anything, so let me put this out. Yeah, obviously, I saw that you're a 2-year super fan, and I need to grab a towel so I can wipe that off. Oh, it's bigger than I thought. So cleanup of the transfer and the squeegees, water. That's all it takes. In this case, I'm not even using water. I'm just wiping it off while it's still wet with a paper towel. That one's done. Clean. Easy peasy clean. Okay? Now, my towel has a little ink on it from the top of the cap where it's screwed off. And I don't know if it's wet or dry. I'm not touching it right now. We are going to pull up our transfer. Now this is not one of the sticky mats, so normally I will not pull from the corner. In this case I am because I don't have a sticky mat. So, okay, good call on the color, Kelly. Now this has ink all over it. I don't want it to touch anything, so I'm just going to take and put it in my little tray that I use. And after we are done off the live, I will take that to the sink and wash it. See, I move things. I have it right here. It goes on my little cart. I will wash it in the sink with water If it has any leftover ink in it, I'll use a board eraser or Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to get the rest of it off, and it is good to go. And I just discovered I actually had ink on my finger. It's not bad. It's not a big, it's just a slight little mark. But we're going to try to get it off. For the most part, it's not going to be noticeable. Not on that because it's just barely, and it's like right here. I'll show you. I'll show you in a minute. All right. I am going to plug in my Easy Press because we're going to heat set this tonight, I think. And I have that unplugged. So let me plug that back in and turn it on. Make sure it's not touching anything. Okay. And while that's doing its thing of warming up, we're going to take our hair dryer. It's very loud, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I was moving stuff and I have stuff in the way of hair dryer cord. Get over here. Bugger. Alright. This is very loud, I'm sorry. But this will get it dry enough where it's tacky to the touch so we can go ahead and heat set the shirt tonight. This ocean mist color would be really cool if it had glitter on it. You didn't hear me say that. That would be great for a base layer underneath some glitter, whatever color. So realistically, this is how quickly I've made a Halloween shirt, and I've been talking. And when I do my lives, it normally takes longer because I'm talking. If I wanted to, I could come in here and be done with this in like 10 or 15 minutes. So, and then after this is heat set, you can take and throw it in the washing machine, wash it, it's good to go. You don't have to worry about washing instructions, you can throw it in the dryer. You don't have to worry about any instructions you normally would with vinyl. You don't have to worry about peeling it back off. It is silk screened on now. Just like this. This is silk screen. I did this shirt. I make most of the shirts that I wear because I can decide what I want, on what color I want, in what color I want on the design, and I can mix and match transfers, and the shirts last a long time as opposed to something at the store that you wash it and about 5 washes later you can't wear it anymore and you pay a lot more for it. This is a cheap way to make your own shirts and shirts for others. Dry. I really like this ocean mist on this color shirt. top layer that's going to be dry. If it's still a little wet, it's just going to come up on the parchment paper. It's not the end of the world. All right, that's loud, I'm sorry. All right, we're going to pull out our mat here, our ink mat. Don't need that anymore. And then I got to find my heat mat. There it is. And my parchment paper. Okay, ink mat, so we don't burn our table. I just need to make sure our design is actually on the heat mat. And make sure there's no creases in the background, like the back side. You can see I have ink on here from when I did the shirts the other day. It's fine, it's dry, it's going back on there. I'm reusing the same piece. And that is going, boom, down on there. It is 305 degrees, 30 seconds per side. I usually do it a little bit longer. I usually don't even pay attention to the timer. And anybody that watches me knows I like to sit here and move it. You don't have to move it if it's an easy press. If it's an iron, you better be moving it. An iron is 4 minutes per side, and I believe it's like a medium heat. It's whatever gets you around 305 degrees. But it's 4 minutes per side. No thank you. I'd rather do this for 30 seconds. And like I said, I've got the biggest one, so really I just can do that and sit here and talk to you, because this is roughly 10 by 12. The transfer itself is 9 by 12, and it doesn't go all the way to the edges. So I know it's all underneath here, but I like to do this because it gives me something to do. And it's definitely been over 30 seconds. So we're going to do that. We're going to pull it up. If there's any that came up, it is so minute. And then we're going to flip this around. We're going to try not to burn ourselves or drop it, since I'm in shorts and my feet are bare. All right. Actually, we're going to put that back down for a minute, because it's just going to be easier to line this up with two hands. And I really don't want to burn myself or pull my muscle in my shoulder, because it's been a little sore. All right, we're just making sure our design's on the heat mat. It should be all around. Oh geez, we're way up. I have plenty of room. There. We're good on that side, which means we should be good on this side. Yep, we are. Okay. No wrinkles. Boom. Back on there. And like I said, I don't really have to do anything to it. I just like to move it around some. On this side, you can't really see what you're doing. So I'm just kind of guessing that I'm on most of it. Just don't burn your finger. Turn that off. It's still hot. All right. Oof. That is over there, and we need to turn. Oh. Much better. There. All right. That's very hot. I should have put that over there. I don't have a place to put that. It's very hot. There. Hold that, Betty. And we have our Dead and Breakfast shirt. Let's see if we have a... Oh no, good. The spider. Where's the spider? Spider's over here. It's not on a boob. It's at the top. It's fine. So now we have our Halloween shirt without it being like overly screaming Halloween. And I can wear this year round because that's just what I'm going to do. I like the transfer. And this color shirt doesn't scream Halloween either. So yay. There. Not exactly folded even. Sleepy Hollow Dead Breakfast. Yay! Easy enough. Like I said, if I hadn't been on the live and doing this, it would have taken 15 minutes at the most. That's it. It's easy. Anybody can do this. And then you can get into a whole nother world of doing surfaces, hard surfaces with the paste. But I need some new t-shirts, so we're making some t-shirts and we're good to go. That's it. I'm going to go wash that transfer in some water and then let it dry overnight. And it'll be good to put back on its backer and ready to use again. So I appreciate you watching, and what's tonight? Thursday? I may see you tomorrow. No, tonight's Wednesday. I may see you tomorrow. I'm not sure yet, but we will see. So make sure your notifications are on so you know when I go live next. All right, y'all have a good night. I appreciate you watching.